Let me tell you a story about a woman who changed her entire life by changing one tiny habit. Her name was Lisa. She was a smoker, she was overweight, and she was deeply unhappy. She had tried to quit smoking dozens of times. She had tried every diet, every program, every quick fix. And every single time, she failed. She was about to give up on herself completely. But then, something unexpected happened. She went to see a therapist, not to quit smoking, not to lose weight, but to deal with a deep, personal grief. The therapist didn't give her a lecture about the dangers of smoking. The therapist didn't shame her about her weight. Instead, the therapist asked her one simple question. "What is your morning routine?" Lisa was confused. She didn't see how her morning routine had anything to do with her problems, but she answered anyway. She said she would wake up, light a cigarette, and have a cup of coffee. The therapist told her to change one thing, just one thing. She told Lisa to smoke her cigarette before she made her coffee. It seemed like such a trivial change. How could that possibly help? But Lisa agreed to try it. And over the next few weeks, something remarkable happened. She started to notice patterns in her behavior that she had never seen before. She realized that the smoking wasn't just a habit. It was a cue. It was the signal for the rest of her morning routine. And by changing the order of the routine, she had broken the autopilot. She eventually quit smoking, lost weight, and transformed her entire life. And it all started with a tiny shift in a seemingly insignificant habit. That story, and hundreds like it, is at the heart of Charles Duhigg's book, The Power of Habit. Duhigg is a Pulitzer Prize-winning journalist, a man who has spent years investigating the science of human behavior. He didn't write a fluffy self-help book. He wrote a deeply researched, rigorously reported exploration of the hidden architecture of our lives. He discovered that habits are not just things we do. They are the invisible forces that shape our destiny. They are the autopilot that runs our lives, while our conscious mind is busy with other things. And if we can learn to understand them, we can learn to change them. We can learn to take control of our own autopilot. Duhigg discovered that every habit follows a simple, three-step loop. It is a neurological pattern that is hardwired into our brains. First, there is the cue. The cue is a trigger. It is something that tells your brain to go into automatic mode. It could be a time of day, a location, an emotional state, or a sequence of actions. Second, there is the routine. The routine is the behavior itself. It is the thing you do. Third, there is the reward. The reward is the payoff. It is the positive feeling, the sense of relief, the pleasure that your brain associates with the routine. This is the habit loop. It is the fundamental unit of human behavior. And once you understand it, you can hack it. Think about it. Your brain is constantly looking for ways to save effort. It loves efficiency. When you do something repeatedly, your brain creates a neural pathway that makes the behavior easier. It turns the behavior into a habit. It's like a well-worn path in a forest. The first time you walk through the forest, it's hard. You have to push through the brush. But the second time, it's a little easier. The third time, it's easier still. Eventually, the path is so clear and so well-trodden that you can walk it without even thinking. That is what a habit is. It is a neural pathway that has been worn down by repetition. And that is why habits are so powerful. They are automatic. They don't require willpower. They don't require conscious thought. They just happen. But here is the crucial insight that Duhigg uncovered. The habit loop is not just about behavior, it is about craving. The brain doesn't just want the reward, it wants the anticipation of the reward. The dopamine, the feel-good chemical, is released not when you get the reward, but when you anticipate getting the reward. This is why habits are so hard to break. Your brain creates a powerful craving for the reward, and that craving is triggered by the cue. You see a donut, and you crave the sugar. You feel stressed, and you crave the cigarette. You feel bored, and you crave the dopamine hit of your phone. The habit loop is a powerful engine that is driven by craving. This is why the standard advice for breaking a habit is so often ineffective. People say, just will yourself to stop. But willpower is a finite resource. It gets depleted. It's a muscle that gets tired. And when your willpower is exhausted, your habits take over. You need a better strategy. You need to understand the habit loop. You need to identify the cue. You need to identify the reward. And then you need to change the routine while keeping the same cue and the same reward. That is the golden rule of habit change. This is what Duhigg calls the golden rule. It is the key to transforming your life. You can't extinguish a bad habit. You can only change it. If you want to stop smoking, you need to identify the cue that triggers the craving. Is it stress? Is it boredom? Is it a specific time of day? And you need to identify the reward that you are seeking. Is it the nicotine? Is it the social interaction? Is it the deep breath? Once you understand the cue and the reward, you can find a new routine that delivers the same reward without the negative consequences. You can replace the cigarette with a short walk. You can replace the junk food with a healthy snack. You can replace the phone scroll with a moment of mindfulness. The cue stays the same. The reward stays the same. But the routine changes. And over time, the new routine becomes a habit. The old habit is replaced by the new one. Duhigg also tells the story of a major corporation that used this principle to turn itself around. It was a struggling company called Alcoa. They were losing money, their safety record was terrible, and their culture was toxic. A new CEO was brought in to turn things around. Everyone expected him to focus on profits, on productivity, on the bottom line. But he did something completely unexpected. He announced that he was going to focus on one thing, and one thing only. He was going to focus on safety. He made it his personal mission to make Alcoa the safest company in the world. People thought he was crazy. Safety was not the problem. Safety was a symptom. But the CEO understood the power of habits. He understood that if he could change the safety habits, he could change the culture of the entire company. He started by investigating every single workplace injury. He demanded detailed reports on every cut, every bruise, every near miss. He forced his managers to look at the data. He forced them to see the patterns. And what they discovered was that the same systemic problems that caused injuries were also causing inefficiency and waste and poor quality. They started to address the root causes of the injuries. They improved training, they improved equipment, they improved communication. And as the safety record improved, everything else improved. The productivity went up, the profits went up, the culture transformed. All because they focused on changing the habits that were holding them back. This is the power of keystone habits. A keystone habit is a habit that triggers a chain reaction of other positive changes. It is a habit that has the power to reshape your entire life. For Lisa, the habit of changing her morning routine was a keystone habit. It gave her a sense of control. It gave her confidence. And that confidence spilled over into other areas of her life. For Alcoa, the habit of focusing on safety was a keystone habit. It forced them to address systemic problems, and it created a culture of accountability and excellence. The lesson is clear. If you want to change your life, don't try to change everything at once. Find one keystone habit, one small win, and build on it. Focus on the habits that have the power to create a domino effect. We live in a world that is obsessed with dramatic transformation. We are told that we need to make massive changes overnight. We are sold the fantasy of the quick fix. But the science of habit tells a different story. The science of habit tells us that real change is gradual. It is incremental. It is the sum of small, consistent actions taken over time. It is a habit. The person who exercises every day will eventually get fit. The person who saves money every day will eventually become wealthy. The person who learns something new every day will eventually become wise. It is not about big leaps. It is about small steps, repeated daily. It is about building a system of positive habits that compound over time to create extraordinary results. Charles Duhigg's book is a roadmap for that journey. It is a guide to the hidden architecture of your life. It is a tool for understanding why you do what you do, and it is a toolkit for changing what you do. It is not just a book about habits. It is a book about freedom. It is a book about the freedom that comes from understanding yourself. It is a book about the freedom that comes from breaking free of the autopilot and taking control of your own life. It is a book that says you are not a victim of your habits. You are the architect of your habits. You have the power to design your life. You have the power to choose your habits. And when you choose your habits, you choose your destiny. So I ask you, what are your habits? What are the cues that trigger your automatic behaviors? What are the rewards that you are craving? Are your habits serving you? Are they moving you toward your goals? Or are they holding you back? The power is in your hands. The power is in your habits. And the time to start is now. One small change. One keystone habit, one domino that starts the chain reaction. That is all it takes. That is the power of habit. And that power is available to you right now, in this very moment. All you have to do is start.